In this video, we will show you how to replace your rear bumper assembly on this Dodge Ram. It will be mounted directly to the rear of your vehicle. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on replacing our rear bumper assembly. To do this, we're going to have to safely make our way underneath the rear of the vehicle. Before we start dismounting the bumper, it's important to make sure you apply some support under each side of the bumper. I have a jack stand under here, just applying support, and now we can make our way underneath. With that bumper properly supported, pay attention on the inside of the frame, where the bumper mounting bolts are. You'll find that you have three 17mm headed bolts making their way from the inside towards the outside on each side of the bumper bracket. We'll be holding that in place. Once we have our 17 on there, we can make our way to the outside with a 19mm to remove each of the three mounting nuts on each side of this. Let's make our way in here. Remove the nut and your mounting bolt. We'll give those a close inspection and go ahead and set those aside. Let's move along to the center one. Now for this center one on each side, I'm going to leave it in here just so this can't wobble around while I continue on to all the rest. Let's do the same on the other side of the vehicle. Now keep in mind, as you remove this bumper, it is extremely heavy. If it starts to fall, just get out of the way. We'll loosen this center one, but leave it in there just a couple threads. Let's get that last one. All right, let's start pulling this off of here. And there it is, friends. Okay, friends, now we can prepare our brand new bumper for installation. When I do this, typically I like to have both of the bumpers next to each other, the new one and the original, so I know exactly where each one of my brackets will go. The process for one side of the bumper installation will be the same as the other. Now with that said, let's start preparing one side of our bumper. Once I've done that, I'll be doing the exact same thing on the other side. Now for this bracket, you'll find that on each side of it is cut at an angle. Match it up with the original so you know exactly which way it goes, otherwise your bumper will not sit properly. You'll also find that on the bracket you have three holes right down along this area. Looking at the original, you can tell that the third hole, or the center hole, isn't used on this application. Let's take this and put it in place on the brand new bumper. Slide each of those mounting bolts through. At this point, we can continue on with our mounting nuts. At this point, you can tell that this can still move around. This is perfect. We'll leave it in this state and continue on to our next bracket. To install that bracket, you want to remove the nut from the corner here. And we'll take this and start putting it in the proper position. Now, just like before, you want to make sure that you compare each of the brackets. I'll slide this in there. We'll put that nut onto the mounting stud. Leave it nice and loose. With your kit, you found that it came with this bolt, and it also came with the corresponding nut that fits on these particular bolts. For this, we'll be coming through the bottom side of the bumper. Use that mounting nut. There we are. Use our 17mm to tighten each one of these two mounting nuts. Before we tighten the other bracket, let's pay attention to these two mounting holes. Ensure that they are lined up properly. If they're off and you tighten the bracket, you're going to have an issue putting in your mounting bolts. Assuming those are in the proper position, we'll continue on with our two 19mm headed bolts and mounting nuts. For this, I'll be holding the mounting nuts with my 19mm, and I'll tighten the bolt from the other side. Let's get that other one. Double check all of your mounting hardware to ensure that you tightened it properly. Also, confirm that the holes are still lined up as they should be. At this point, I'll continue on to doing the exact same thing on the other side of our bumper. Now the next thing we'll do is carefully put the bumper in place. While doing so, we can start in each of those mounting bolts. We'll be doing this with the bolts coming through from the inside towards the outside. Now that I have all 6 of my mounting bolts started, we'll just confirm that the bumper is aligned properly and tighten each of the 6 mounting bolts. Just hold on to this. I got my air gun on the other side. We'll confirm that all 3 of these are nice and tight. Do the same on the other side of the vehicle. Now that this is bolted in nice and tight, we can remove the supports. Okay friends, we fully installed our rear bumper. At this point, double check to make sure it's completely secured and then take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.